Hey, what is up guys? It's your boy Spee here, and today we're going to be looking at TOPSON ZEUS. I'm going to show you the very advanced plays. We're going to go over a few advanced plays that he makes to get first blood on the puck and dominate as Zeus. This is a hero that I think is pretty underrated right now, so I want to talk about it in general, but also we'll be looking at his advanced mechanics, and let's get into it. Also, I want to tell you guys that if you've been struggling with solo queue and you're looking to get to the next rank, I'm going to be able to help you. Like, literally, with the GameLeap website, I'm going to give you guys guides that are going to make it unbelievably clear on what you need to do. So if you've been stuck in the solo queue grind, you don't know what to do, and you want to become absolutely broken, but like actually, you want to become much better at Dota, and you want to take it more seriously, the GameLeap website is going to help you do that. So click the link down below. I'm going to help you get to the next rank, and I'll see you there. Alright, so the first thing is about mid lane mechanics on the first wave. Early on into the creep wave, there's honestly a lot of different things you can do. There's literally so many different ways you can play the wave. You can pull creep aggro right away, you can auto attack the melee creeps right away, you can nuke 3 times, you can nuke 1 time. What should you do in the first wave? Now, in this matchup, I think honestly what TOPSON does is quite interesting. He messes up his block pretty bad here. The reason why he messes it up, well, you could argue he messes it up, is the range creep goes in front. And when the range creep goes in front, the puck is naturally going to hit orb through and then sort of try to pressure you on the range creep. You're going to see the puck's going to do that here. Now what TOPSON does is very important. When this bad situation comes up, he doesn't respond with creep aggro. What a lot of people might do here is pull aggro. The reason why this would ruin the lane is if TOPSON pulled creep aggro right here, all 3 melee creeps are going to run to TOPSON and start hitting him. Then his melee creeps will be aggroed by puck onto the range creep. How will he then secure the range creep? Now, you might be thinking arc lightning, it's a pretty simple response. But the problem with that is puck being a very good player, right? This puck is going to naturally then drag aggro off his range creep, right? I'll show you what I mean by that, right? So when the range creep is going to start getting hit, puck wants to prevent this from ever going in CS range. Because once it goes in CS range, TOPSON can hit nuke it, right? Or at least nuke it. So what the puck will do is hit TOPSON. By hitting TOPSON, then the range creep is not going to die. Do you see what would happen if 3 or 2 melee creeps were hitting TOPSON? TOPSON would be destroyed. His HP pool would be absolutely annihilated because he would be constantly getting punched as a ranged hero by 2 melee creeps. Hopefully that makes sense. And so instead, he kind of just lets the wave push him. This isn't necessarily great because having the last hit under tower is kind of bad, but at least Zeus is a 61 damage hero with a low cooldown nuke. So when you're under the tower, you do want to pull creep aggro, try to force the enemy mid to have to go pretty deep to contest you, and he ends up getting a kill here on the puck. And the way he does that is he pulls aggro again under the tower, secures the creeps, focuses on his CS primarily, right? But we'll see in a moment here, after this range creep, he understands puck is in major disadvantage. Why? Puck just casted Illusory Orb. At level 2, this is of course Puck's main defensive ability. This is his main way to get away from a bad situation. With it being on cooldown, TOPSON understands that this is his opportunity to pressure. When this range creep dies, the 2 melee creeps are going to start hitting the puck, and as a result, I think 1 armor? A 1 armor range hero with 290 movement speed, puck has some of the worst defensive stats in the game, is going to get destroyed. So TOPSON takes heavy advantage of that, hitting the puck, nuking the range creep, right? So he's completely maximizing his damage. Attack moving in between every auto attack, throwing another auto, following that up with the subsequent heavenly jump to slow the attack speed of the puck and close the gap, nuking in between every auto attack, not canceling a single auto attack with his nukes, max range autoing here, and then finally securing the kill. You can see how he literally min-maxed everything you possibly could have. Nuking as soon as he possibly could have, never canceling an auto attack with a nuke, heavenly jumping in between auto attacks as well, and that really allows him to get a kill, mainly because he pressures off 2 melee creeps hitting the puck. So the next thing I want to talk about is what he does after the kill. So he ends up getting this kill, as we've just mentioned. He's going to pick up his bottle. He's got 3 bottle charges, pretty standard, gonna ball up. But what he does next is what's most fascinating to me. Instead of going for your average null or stick, which is the most common items you would see in this situation, he actually buys mangoes. Now he does buy some nulls with those mangoes. He doesn't actually ship out the mangoes right away. He does buy the nulls as he continues to pressure the puck. But yeah, as I was saying, he buys 2 mangoes. And the reason why he does this is, in my opinion, pretty straightforward. I believe he only does this because he's dominating the lane. If you buy mangoes and you're like not doing too great, you're just crushing your net worth, right? You're really just crushing your net worth. However, he understands that he is owning this puck. He's quite a bit ahead on CS, he's way ahead on net worth, and on top of that, the puck even is a bit lower than him on HP. Sure, the puck has 9 magic wand charges, but the puck didn't even have a bottle yet. And so I think what TOPSON was looking for here is kind of just an opportunity to dominate this puck, right? As we were talking about, the puck's quite a bit behind here. And we can see he's actually going to pressure anytime the puck casts a illusory orb offensively, that's when he's going to go in. The biggest thing that I really loved about TOPSON's gameplay here is this next play we're going to see. This is so neat. It's not niche, but this is something that I think no one does frequently that you absolutely should. And what it is canceling bottle charges. Now, it might seem obvious. It seems like such a simple play, but I swear no one actively does it. I mean, if you're a mid lane player, think about it. How often do you actively cancel bottle charges? How often do you make it a priority with autos, nukes, anything? Probably not that often. Now, Zeus, to be fair, is like the best candidate for this. He's the best hero for this because he has a low cooldown, low range nuke. You know, it doesn't get better than that. But he's going to specifically eat mangoes to do it. That's how you know he really prioritizes it, right? And we're going to see the puck's going to disengage here. He reads that the puck is going to bottle here and cancels it, right? Just instantly cancels it. And it's a beautiful play. Tries to do it again here. Unfortunately, I think he didn't realize he was out of mana, but he was absolutely trying to cancel the next bottle charge as well. And this is massive because if the puck is so low, right? If he was able to cancel that bottle charge because he had enough mana, which, you know, was a little unfortunate that he didn't. But if that happened and the puck was now 150, 200 HP, TOPSON could potentially prevent him from even getting a water rune and the lane would end. The puck would not be able to heal, he would have to go back to base and fall wildly far behind. Before we move on to a different point in the game, I do want to quickly mention that if you are playing Zeus and you do not buy your shard immediately, you are ruining the game. I cannot stress this enough. I honestly think the only way Zeus is playable right now is by buying your shard ASAP. If you don't know what it does, it gives you your old ability, your old passive, static field. However, the old static field before Zeus got nerfed or changed was it maxed out at 10% of their current health. This shard for only 1400 gold is basically a maxed out ability. That's kind of insane, right? It's pretty wild. So I really believe that if you do not buy this shard on Zeus, your hero is wildly underwhelming. Like wildly underwhelming. The only thing you're good at that point in the game, if you don't buy it, it's like giving vision with your ult and dewarding with your W. Next, let's quickly talk about Wind Waker and its effects against Puck. So Puck as a hero has Coil. Coil used to pierce spell immunity, but it has this weird interaction completely disregarding all previous interactions where if you click Wind Waker while you are coiled, you can just walk out of the coil. Now, I do think that his item build here is definitely a bit psychotic. The reason why I think it's a bit psychotic is I personally feel that for the same cost, you could buy a BKB and accomplish a pretty similar thing, right? You could click BKB, snap the coil, and then just jump away. So I do believe this build is like somewhat psychotic. I mean, I guess it does help you save teammates as well. It does allow you to reposition, which is pretty freaking nice on this hero, right? It's like kind of solid for that reason as well, but it's pretty bad against Doom, right? If he gets Doomed, he's kind of just screwed anyway. So I think this is a bit risky. Definitely not something I would recommend doing in the majority of games, but as we'll see in this fight here, he's going to take out the Visage, a really nice jump, gets coiled, and easily snaps it. No problem whatsoever. And to be fair, it is quite a low cooldown item. I believe the Wind Waker is a 16-second cooldown, 16.2 with the Quickening Charm, so I would say, right, 18. Does end up getting Doomed in this team fight, but really the main thing is that he was able to kite out the coil, so the Doom isn't really going to do that much. Easily lives through it with the help of the Glimmer Cape, and he's vibing. One more thing that kind of interests me this game was, number one, his dewarding. So like, he spends a crazy amount of this game just bolting hills. We'll see as he's clearing through to bottom here. He's just gonna constantly bolt areas, right? Bolts the mid-high ground. He's gonna bolt this hill in a moment as well. Just constantly bolting areas, scouting for wards. And as a mid laner, I think a lot of people forget to do it. You know, if you pick Zeus as a support, it's pretty easy to remember, but that's definitely not the case, right, as a mid. So it is something I want to bring up. If you guys are Zeus players, make sure you're bolting hills. especially when you hit the point in the game where you don't need any more mana, like especially if you buy a Kaya, you're not going to run out of mana, right? So you should always be bolting hills. Even arguably against this Doom Shadowblade, if you want to be really picky, he can just be bolting the ground when he's like looking to push out into the lanes, right? He's like split pushing this game. I think he knows that Doom is a Shadowblade. He could even be bolting to scout this type of thing out. So I'm not going to say it's like that much of a misplay. It's a bit hard to do that. I don't think most people would. But it is something to think about how advanced you can get in terms of your detection. You can, pre-bolt areas for team fights. You can scout out wards. It's really important. And another thing that I mentioned before but didn't finish is that he takes the 325 AoE lightning bolt. Clearly thinking it's just a better ability. I feel like it's not great, to be honest, but it does help you clear waves very quickly and stay off map. So there is that. And finally, the last play of the game that I thought was really cool and heads up from TOPSON is using his ulti to cancel blink daggers. So specifically the Doom has a blink dagger here, and you're going to see in a moment, Doom is going to show on this mid-sentry combo with his Shadowblade. With no hesitation, TOPSON is going to ult and Nimbus him. He also has the Lightning Bolt mini stun, maybe part of the reason why he takes the level 25 AoE Lightning Bolt talent, but he has the Lightning Bolt mini stun and uses it, right? Really to his advantage with the Nimbus. Cancels the Doom's blink, follows up with Nimbus, which obviously is going to cancel the blink again, into a Boundless Strike, and they find the game-winning kill. That Doom had no buyback. And yeah, so that's definitely something to think about. And you can use that in a plethora of different situations. You can use your ulti to cancel blinks in trees. You can use it to scout people late game that are split pushing. Obviously, it's just a vision tool, but I thought the blink one was important. And even in team fights, even if you don't know where someone is, or, let's say they don't see that Doom, he could still ulti just to give vision and just to cancel the blink. Let's say you're playing against something like Enigma late game, and that guy's just hunting the hell out of you, because honestly he can, especially if you don't have like the proper defensive items. Ulting early into the fight and not to finish kills is actually way better and often exactly what you should do. But nonetheless, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and I'm out. Peace.
And that's all, but remember, before you leave, before you tune out, subscribe to the GameLeap website where we are going to help you get to the next rank. If you're stuck, click the link down below, and I'm out. Peace.